West Ham make mega bid for Jhon Duran. That's the news that's happening at the moment. Now listen, this is not my news. This is not my story. I've checked with West Ham sources and no one else has heard anything about it. So if this news is coming out, it's either coming out from the players' side, his representatives, or it's happening from the Aston Villa side. That doesn't mean that there is no truth in it, but I'm just putting it out there. I'm not telling you that this is it. I do actually have a couple of updates, and I do know that from the West Ham side, because I've had some sort of confirmation from sources inside the club today about a couple of players. But the Duran one is interesting. I mean, this whole mega bid, it was... the story I saw was from the West Ham zone, which is... I don't know anyone at West Ham Zone. I think, and I might have this wrong. I think West Ham Zone is a website that's owned by a bigger umbrella company that has lots of different websites. And I'm sure they have some West Ham fans writing on there. I'm sure that's the case. But it's come from, I think they've taken it from Tribal Football and somebody called Graham Bailey. Don't know who Graham Bailey is anyway. So on the outset, you think, well, this is absolutely ridiculous. Plus, Jhon Duran, he's banging in goals for Aston Villa. Right, he's banned. He's not at the moment, but he's banging in goals from Aston Villa, and West Ham, we missed our chance to get him. Now, what I do know is I have this on very, very good authority because I've spoken to somebody who was involved in some of the negotiations earlier on this season, and it would appear that we did come very, very close to signing him. Very close. And in the end, we were really close to making an agreement with Aston Villa. But in the end, I think it just became a little bit too rich for us. I'm not telling you anything you don't know there. But it was serious interest. We were very, very interested. We didn't get him. We signed Nicholas Füllkrug, and of course the rest is history. He's gone banging in goals. Scored against us, didn't he? First game of the season. So I often say with these players, you get one chance to sign them. One chance. And then you miss it. But, that being said, I'm not so sure. I think we possibly could sign him now. Now, here's the thing. Aston Villa, as I understand it, are up for selling him. That's not beyond the realms of possibility. As I understand it, and it's not come from Tribal Football or anyone else, but he can be a little bit of a disruptive influence, apparently. I'm not saying anything new there. We discussed this over the summer. I've often said with West Ham players that when you're going to get a player, they almost need to have a little bit of... We can't afford to go out and get the very best player. I'll give you a great example, right? The most, back in the day, the most creative players that had sort of no problems at all, that had the workmanlike thing and they didn't get suspended, they didn't get banned or anything like that, the attacking midfielders, number 10s, whatever... They were Gianfranco Zola and Dennis Bergkamp. West Ham couldn't afford Dennis Bergkamp or Gianfranco Zola, so we had to get Paolo Di Canio instead. We always have to get the one. Now, listen, just as talented as those, but you know what he was like. Didn't like going to away games. Used to lose his mind when he was at Sheffield Wednesday, pushed over a referee, all that sort of thing. He was a little bit unpredictable. That's what West Ham have to do. We can't go and get the unfaulty ones. We are the you ever get those biscuits where you get the broken biscuits in a big box? We've got to go and get the broken biscuits, basically. You could say Arnautovic was that. You could even say Dimitri Payet was that. For a season with West Ham, Dimitri Payet was like the best player in the world. He was that good. But there was a reason why he'd never fulfilled his potential up to the point. His best season came at the age of 28, and there's a reason why he never hit those heights afterwards. He wasn't completely focused. There was basically something. Right, he was bonkers, basically. So we hear that actually Jhon Duran might be bonkers. I mean, hold on a second. This might give us a chance to this player. Something big would have to happen for West Ham to make this deal. Now, the only reason I say all that was I was just on WhatsApp, on the Hammers Chat Patreon WhatsApp group, and I think it was Chris over on there who was saying, it might be Chris or Jamie, it was one of them was saying, well, wouldn't the bigger clubs be interested? Wouldn't Arsenal be interested? Or whoever. And I think not. I think because of that, I think there is a concern. The same reason why Villa are willing to let him go is one of the reasons why those big clubs might view him as a Di Canio or an Arnautovic or somebody like that. They're a little bit hesitant and a little bit reluctant. That doesn't mean West Ham can't go and get them. How that would fit in with Potter, I don't know. This is where man management comes in. This is why Bilic was so important. It needed Bilic to make Payet work. It needed Redknapp to make Di Canio work. This is what happens. In many respects, Bilic couldn't get a tune out of Arnautovic. It needed David Moyes to make Arnautovic work. You've got to have the right man manager. And anyway, I don't want to talk about it too much because it still is unlikely to happen. But yeah, as I understand it, Arsenal want a reliable goal scorer. They want Isak. They want the goals without the baggage, basically. That's what they want. Now, what West Ham's owners said is it's a mega deal. You've got to put mega deal in. You've got to put mega deal because you need to do the clickbait. Right? And I've got no complaints about that. I will put something similar in the headline for this video. Make no mistake about it, right? But what wasn't there was it wasn't specified how much it was. It said mega deal expected to be more than the £30 million West Ham bid. Well, okay. Well, firstly, yes, it would need to be. Would absolutely need to be more than 30 million, but we bid more than 30 million. I'm pretty sure. I know for a fact that we were there with 33 million. Whether we actually went on and bid the 35 or whatever, I don't know. I certainly know that. So we would have to bid considerably more than that. But yeah, I've listened. I find it very, very interesting to know whether we're going to do it or not. A couple of other little bits and pieces to tell you about, one of which I've had a little bit of contact with the club. I'm actually, as I'm recording this, just refreshing my browser now to see if anyone else has come in, if anyone else said, oh, actually, yeah, I can have this confirmed or whatever. Before I do that, can I please point in the direction of today's video sponsor, which is Match Bingo. I'm pointing in both directions. I don't know where the logo is going to be. It's up there somewhere. Match Bingo. If you've not downloaded Match Bingo, where have you been? If you're a Hammers chatterer, a regular Hammers chatterer, I'm sure you have done. If you have done already, then do you know what? Go and have a look in your account, open it up. You might be surprised. You might find yourself, you've got a little bit of a balance there. And a little bit of a balance will do it because each game on Match Bingo is only £2. Only £2. So you can't break the bank. You can't even go mad. Even on a single game, you can't buy more than 5 cards. So you can't even spend more than a tenner on a game. And even then we're giving you free cards on some of them, so you can't even spend a tenner. Match Bingo is basically bingo, but instead of the numbers, it's got stuff that happens in a football match. A goal kick, a kick-off. They got a kick-off. That's a tap. That is literally a tap-in. It doesn't actually have tap-in in there, funny enough. Someone hitting the post, a corner, a left-footed shot, this type of thing. You have to fill up your bingo card. Basically, for each and every bingo card, there are 4 winners. First line, second line, full house. That's the biggest amount of money. And then bonus pot. We have had, and I gesture not, over 130 winners from Match Bingo of just you guys that watch these videos. So the link is in the description below. Please do use the link because then they know that you've come from Hammers Chat. Then we get paid, and then hopefully they continue their sponsorship because they know, hold on a second, people click over from Hammers Chat. If you've already downloaded it, then just go and check your account now. Go and have a little look. You might have something in there. Might be able to get yourself a bingo card. There's loads of games. There was darts on it, Joe. Anyone watch the darts? I hadn't watched darts in years, but I watched a little bit of the darts over sort of Christmas and the New Year, which I thought was pretty damn good. You can play Match Bingo on the darts when the ICC is on. What do they call it? The IPL, the Indian Premier League. Sorry, when that's on, they have the cricket on. Lots of different things, and they go and check it out. Links in the description below. A little bit of a hard edit here, straight after that Match Bingo advert. Only to say that after I was processing the video, I've had some news in, and it is just to confirm that certainly that Jhon Duran is for sale. I've had it from a pretty damn good source as well. It's going to be really, really tough for West Ham because Paris Saint-Germain are in the bidding. There's a few other foreign clubs who are in the bidding for him as well. There certainly is an interest. There is an interest from West Ham. That much is definitely clear, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough because of the money. We'd need to free up some funds, and that's going to be really, really hard for us to do. But yeah, it would appear that Jhon Duran is available for transfer from Aston Villa, who I understand it have agreed to do a deal with somebody from Dortmund only this afternoon as well. West Ham are in the hunt, but we are far from favourites, and certainly with someone like PSG involved, there's no way we're going to be able to match that money. So I think we probably did miss the best opportunity to get him, which we all knew. There's no news there, which is back in the summer. Right, now I'm going to talk about the other players. In terms of other player news, I think this is really interesting. This was actually going to be the video of the day before that really clickbaity story about Jhon Duran came up. And it's about James Ward-Prowse. There is no intention from the club to recall James Ward-Prowse. Now, I'm not just saying that because Graham Potter's done his press conference and he said, he's a Nottingham Forest player and he didn't particularly want to talk about it. I liked Graham Potter's press conference, by the way. Tomorrow we will talk about that in depth before the game. I watched it diligently, studiously with my not just a 4-coloured pen I've got. I don't know how many colours. This is a beauty. Actually, to be fair, this is too chunky to write with, but it's good for like underlining stuff. This is my actual, this is my pen. Anyway, I was taking notes of the Graham Potter press conference, and I quite liked what he had to say. So it is nice. It is quite refreshing to have somebody that will speak. And so, actually speak and be happy. David Moyes used to speak, but he didn't want to be there. Potter seems to understand that it's sort of part of his duties. He's okay. We'll see what he's like if he comes heavily under pressure. Maybe he'd be a bit grumpy then. But anyway, very, very good. What he did say was he didn't want to. He was asked if we would recall James Ward-Prowse. He said no. We will. He's a Nottingham Forest player. He didn't say no. We won't recall him. He just said I want to talk about players at other teams. And anyway. We have had a little bit more meat on the bone than that from the club today. We've reiterated something that they said in, but 2 weeks ago, even before going into the transfer window, which is it was a no. Basically, the club said no, we're not looking to recall James Ward-Prowse. That the agreement would need to be done between both clubs anyway, and I think you could probably persuade Nottingham Forest to do it because he's well down the pecking order. He's not getting games. I think they've got another midfielder to come back for us as well. He'll move when the midfielder they got injured will come back. Ward-Prowse will move even further down the list. So I think they would give him back. I think what has become really, really clear is we don't want him back. We don't want to take Ward-Prowse back. No, thank you. And that's what we're saying. I'm not saying that. That's what we're saying. And the reasoning is, no, we want new, fresh players and we're looking for more pace in midfield. And that was it. That was today. That was this morning. More pace in midfield. Not going to bring James Ward-Prowse back. More pace in midfield. We'll talk about the other stuff that Potter said, as I say, tomorrow, because obviously it's match day tomorrow. The other one is Cornet, same thing. Southampton want to give Cornet back. I did wonder about Cornet, actually. It's not worth a video in itself, obviously, but it's an emergency player. If they would have to pay us up so we don't lose any money at all. So what Southampton could do is pay his contract towards the end of the season. So they've paid everything, then give him back so he's no longer registered to them. So we don't lose out on money, but they free up a space in their squad because you can only have 2 domestic loans. We get him back. I've got to be honest with you. If he was back in now, it might even be a case of saying, well, he might get to play up front tomorrow against Fulham. So, yeah, that's I'm not sure that's going to happen. I've heard nothing, but we did hear that. Well, actually, Juric came out. It wasn't just like it was a rumour. The rumour came out that Southampton might want to give him back, and then Juric came out in his press conference and said, "Yeah, we'll get rid of him. No worries there." So it's not even a bit of speculation. It's not even any ITK stuff for anyone there, is it? It's just the manager's come out and said it. Dewsbury Hall, remember him? Big money signing from Leicester. He'd worked with the Leicester manager the former Leicester manager is obviously the Chelsea manager now. Been expecting big things of him. It's not worked out. He's available on loan. Now he's box to box. He's not slow. He's box to box. He's got quick feet. I'll give him that. Is he that pace we needed in midfield? I don't know. I'm not sure. I do wonder if we're gonna. Tomorrow's going to be quite telling with Carlos Soler, because I do wonder if there's something that might be done there. I think had it carried on with Lopetegui, I think we were definitely going to make that signing permanent. I do believe that Potter coming in has changed that now. But, mate, that's a conversation for another day. If he doesn't play tomorrow, if he has a similar role tomorrow and he comes off the bench very, very late, then maybe something happens there. I find it hard with Dewsbury Hall coming in without some other movement. The Alvarez one we discussed in the video yesterday with Gio. You know my thoughts on that. There's certainly been no new news right now, not certainly at the point of, I'll check my phone right now so I'll be up to date. I always tend not to do this. I always think it's unprofessional to check your phone, but let's be fair. If we're trying to do a most up-to-date one, let me just check the phone there. No, nothing Nothing going on there. Nothing going on. No extra talk about Alvarez. There's clearly been no second bid or anything there. Yeah, nothing else to say on that. I'll see you tomorrow, match day.